Have you ever noticed that the more you try to explain yourself, the more your words get twisted by those who seek to manipulate? When you fight for truth and justice, you often end up looking desperate, while the real culprits walk away untouched. It's like entering a battle with rigged rules, where your honest voice becomes a pawn in someone else's game. Yet, there's a secret strength in choosing silence. The moment you stop chasing explanations, the storm begins to settle. Picture a snake caught in its own struggle. The harder it fights, the deeper its wound. But when it ceases its battle, nature takes over and healing starts. Think of an echo in the mountains. What you send out eventually finds its way back, louder and clearer. That's the quiet magic of karma. Every lie they tell, every hurtful act they commit, eventually circles back to them like an inescapable tide. In a world filled with relentless provocation and subtle manipulation, you always have a choice. You can either dive into the chaos and get swept away, or you can stand firm, let go of the need to defend, and allow the natural course of justice to take over. Silence is not weakness. It's a powerful force, a hidden shield that turns the energy of your adversaries right back at them. Before we journey any further, I invite you to take action. Hit that subscribe button, press the bell icon for notifications, and drop a comment below with the affirmation, "Silence is my power." Stay with us until the end for a transformative message that might just change your life. Embrace this silent strength and watch as karma weaves its undeniable magic. 1. Silence speaks volumes. When someone tells lies about you, it can feel like you're caught in a raging storm that refuses to settle. You want to defend yourself, to shout back and clear your name, but every word you say only fans the flames. It may leave you wondering, is it worth it to fight back? The truth is, by trying to prove your innocence, you give more life to their falsehoods and let their drama grow. Think of it this way. When you react to every untrue word, you hand over your power to someone who never cared about the truth. Instead, they are driven by a need for control, craving a reaction that confirms their twisted version of reality. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Holding on to this thought reminds you that your worth isn't measured by the lies of others, but by your own inner strength. Imagine a river cutting through rock over time. The rock might seem unyielding, yet the gentle persistence of water eventually shapes it. In the same way, your quiet dignity, left undisturbed, carves out the truth from the bedrock of deception. When you choose silence over a heated defense, you're not running away. You're choosing to let time reveal what words cannot. Epictetus once reminded us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your calm reaction speaks volumes about who you are, not the baseless stories others spin. Picture a mighty oak in the midst of a fierce storm. Instead of fighting against the wind, the oak bends, absorbing the force without breaking. Its silence in the storm is a testament to its strength and resilience. Likewise, when you stay quiet in the face of lies, you are not giving in to weakness. You are standing firm, like that oak, letting the truth emerge naturally once the winds die down. You may ask yourself, will people see my silence as surrender? The answer is no. They will see it as an act of control, a clear signal that you refuse to be dragged into their chaotic game. Let me share a story to bring this idea to life. There was a man, James, who faced wild rumors at work. False tales about his actions spread quickly, shaking his reputation and isolating him from colleagues. His first impulse was to explain himself, to shout out and prove his truth. But instead, James chose a different path. He focused on doing his job well, maintaining his professionalism and letting his actions speak for him. Over time, the truth emerged. It turned out that the one who had started the rumors had a long track record of twisting facts and manipulating others. James's quiet determination not only preserved his integrity, but also showed everyone that truth outlasts lies. In the end, when someone lies about you, the most powerful response is often no response at all. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a fortress that protects your dignity. You might wonder if silence leaves room for doubt. But remember, when you choose to stay calm and composed, you allow the truth to shine through on its own. Lies may sound loud for a moment, but like echoes in a canyon, they fade away with time. So, the next time you are tempted to fight back against falsehoods, remember the power of quiet strength. Let your silence be the calm in the storm, a steadfast reminder that truth, like a gentle river, always finds its way home, carving out its path through the toughest obstacles. 2. Once bitten, twice shy. Few experiences cut deeper than betrayal. Whether it's a friend who turns their back, a lover who breaks promises, or someone you trusted with your deepest secrets, betrayal hits you like a dagger, sharp, sudden, and unforgettable. Your first instinct is usually confrontation. You want answers, explanations, or at the very least, an apology. But here's the bitter truth. No conversation can reverse a betrayal once it's happened. Why? Because betrayal doesn't come from misunderstanding. It comes from choice. Those who betray often justify their actions in their minds. They create reasons that shield them from guilt, painting themselves as victims or even heroes of their own story. If you confront them, they'll twist your words. If you demand accountability, they'll flip blame onto you. It becomes a painful cycle where your efforts only fuel their narrative. Here's where Stoic wisdom shines bright. Seneca wisely said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Betrayal, as harsh as it feels, serves as life's friction. It polishes your character, tests your strength, and sharpens your understanding of who truly deserves a place in your heart. Rather than seeing betrayal as a tragedy, view it as a revelation, an opportunity to become stronger and wiser. Imagine you're carrying a heavy stone. At first, it seems manageable, but soon the burden tires you. Betrayal is that stone. It weighs heavily on your soul. But remember, you always have the option to put it down. Your silence is that moment of release, your way of dropping the heavy weight and walking free. Consider this story. Sarah had a best friend named Emma. Over a decade of friendship, sharing joys, secrets, struggles, Sarah never imagined Emma could betray her. But one day, Sarah discovered Emma had spoken behind her back, spilling secrets and sabotaging opportunities. Anger flooded Sarah's mind. Her first reaction was to confront Emma, to demand answers and accountability. But she chose differently. Instead of arguing or begging for an explanation, Sarah simply walked away. No drama, no accusations, just a calm, unshakable silence. Emma was stunned. She had prepared for a fight, expecting anger or tears. Instead, she faced the deafening silence of indifference. Sarah's quiet detachment sent a message louder than words ever could. Betrayers lose twice. First, the trust they've broken. And second, the respect they forfeited. Perhaps you're wondering, is walking away weakness? Not at all. Silence is strength wrapped in dignity. It reveals self-control and the confidence to trust that actions speak louder than words. Betrayal is designed to provoke reaction. Silence denies betrayers their satisfaction. It leaves them facing the consequences of their actions without the drama they crave. You might ask, does silence truly heal? Yes, because silence gives you space. Space to reflect, to heal, and to recognize your worth. Like a wound, betrayal stings at first, but eventually scabs over, becoming tougher and stronger than before. Silence accelerates this healing. It lets you reclaim control and realize the betrayer's actions say everything about their character and nothing about yours. Ultimately, betrayal teaches a valuable lesson. Some people aren't meant to stay. They enter your life to teach you something important and leave when their lesson is done. Your silence isn't surrender. It's the loudest reminder that betrayal has consequences and that some bridges once burned can't be rebuilt. In the end, silence is your greatest power. It's the quiet dignity that whispers to betrayers, "You didn't break me. You showed me who you really are." 3. Don't take the bait. There's no pain quite like betrayal. No sting sharper than discovering that someone you trusted turned out to be someone you never truly knew. It might be a close friend whispering behind your back, a partner breaking a sacred promise, or a confidant using your secrets as ammunition. Betrayal hits like a silent blade, deep and unexpected, leaving wounds that words alone can't heal. When someone betrays you, your first instinct is probably confrontation. Questions rush through your mind. How could they do this to me? Or, didn't I mean anything to them? You might feel the burning need to confront them, to make them understand your pain. But here's the painful truth. Explaining your hurt to someone who betrayed you rarely brings comfort or resolution. Betrayal is not accidental, it's intentional. The betrayer has already justified their actions, believing either that you deserved it or that they were right in some twisted way. No amount of logic or pleading will change their mind. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Instead of lowering yourself into the pit they've dug, walk around it. The act of walking away is louder than any accusation or harsh word. It's like stepping out of quicksand. The harder you fight to make them see your point, the deeper you sink into frustration and confusion. But the moment you pause and choose silence, the chaos begins to settle, leaving clarity in its wake. Maybe you're asking yourself, if I stay quiet, won't it make me look weak or guilty? Absolutely not. Silence, in the face of betrayal, is not weakness. It's the clearest sign of strength. It's the silent confidence of knowing who you truly are. Betrayers thrive on drama, arguments, and explanations. They feed on your anger, your pain, and your reactions. Deny them that satisfaction and watch as their own actions slowly reveal their true colors. Consider this metaphor. Betrayal is like a storm tearing through your life, shaking the trees and scattering leaves everywhere. But storms don't last forever. Eventually, the skies clear and people see the destruction left behind. They'll notice who caused the chaos and who stood calmly, waiting patiently for the storm to pass. Let me share a story to illustrate. Sarah trusted her friend completely until she found out this friend had betrayed her, secretly sabotaging opportunities and turning others against her. Sarah felt hurt, angry, and tempted to confront her friend, to demand answers, apologies, or explanations. But instead, she decided to stay silent and walked away without giving her friend the satisfaction of a reaction. Her silence spoke louder than words ever could. The betrayer was left confused, waiting for drama that never came. Eventually, without fuel for her games, the betrayer's credibility collapsed. Sarah's silence became her strongest statement, louder than any argument she might have made. Think of betrayal as pruning branches from your life. It hurts, yes, but afterward, new growth begins, stronger, healthier, more vibrant. Your pain is temporary, your growth is permanent. Every betrayal teaches you something important. Who truly belongs in your life, who deserves your loyalty, and who must be released. Ultimately, betrayal is not your failure, but theirs. Don't waste energy proving innocence to someone who willingly chose deception. Instead, trust karma's ability to restore balance. The betrayer's choices always find their way back home, like a boomerang thrown blindly into the wind. You don't have to chase them down. Time and karma work hand in hand, quietly sorting truths from lies. Remember this clearly. The greatest power you possess after betrayal isn't revenge, bitterness, or even confrontation. It's the quiet certainty that your dignity is intact, your integrity untouched, and your worth undiminished. Let your silence tell the world who you are, long after their betrayal reveals exactly who they've always been. 4. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Have you ever given your heart and soul to someone only to realize they never truly appreciated you? It's a harsh reality we all face at some point, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or your role at work. Being undervalued stings deeply. You pour your energy, kindness, and loyalty into someone, but eventually it hits you. Your efforts go unnoticed, taken for granted, or worse, completely ignored. Why does this happen? Why do people overlook what's right in front of them? The truth is harsh, yet simple. People rarely value what's always available. Think about breathing. You hardly ever notice the air until you struggle to catch your breath. The moment air becomes scarce, you realize how precious it was all along. Similarly, when your kindness, love, or hard work are constantly available, they're easily ignored, like background music no one pays attention to until it suddenly stops. Your first impulse might be to shout louder, to highlight your worth, and demand recognition. But does it ever really work? Usually, it only pushes people further away. Trying to prove your worth often makes you appear desperate, diminishing your value even more. Your self-respect suffers as you chase validation from people who are blind to your true worth. This is precisely when silence becomes your secret weapon. Choosing silence doesn't mean surrendering. It means reclaiming your power. It's about stepping back and allowing others to experience life without your constant presence, your constant availability. Your absence can teach more effectively than any words ever could. As Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. It takes immense courage to step away silently from people who refuse to acknowledge your importance. Silence becomes your voice, sending a message stronger than any speech or confrontation could ever achieve. Imagine you have a valuable painting in your home. At first, you admire it daily, appreciating its beauty. But over time, you barely notice it hanging there. It fades into the background, just part of the scenery. Then, one day, it's removed, leaving an empty space. Suddenly, the emptiness catches your attention. You miss what you took for granted, realizing its worth only after it's gone. That's exactly how your silence works when people undervalue you. By stepping away quietly, you let them feel the emptiness left behind. Let me tell you about Jake. He was the kind of friend who always reached out first, checked in often, and gave his all in every relationship. Yet, as time passed, Jake noticed fewer efforts returned. If he didn't reach out, no one did. He started questioning himself. Am I not good enough? Why am I always the one trying? After countless disappointments, Jake finally understood something important. His consistent presence made him invisible. He decided to simply stop reaching out. He didn't yell, he didn't demand recognition. He just became quietly unavailable. And guess what happened? The people who genuinely valued Jake quickly noticed his absence and reached out. Those who didn't truly care simply faded away, making room for more meaningful connections in his life. Silence gave Jake clarity and preserved his dignity. Perhaps you're wondering, but won't silence push everyone away? Actually, silence reveals the truth. It clarifies who genuinely appreciates your presence and who was merely benefiting from your constant availability. It's a filter, separating authenticity from superficiality. In the end, remember this: if someone can't recognize your value when you're present, your absence will speak louder. Silence isn't surrender, it's self-respect in action. By withdrawing your energy from people who undervalue it, you force them to confront the reality that what they ignored was actually their greatest treasure. And even if they never realize it, your worth remains untouched, intact, and undeniable. 5. Regrets, a bitter pill. When someone fails to appreciate your worth, it's a lesson in itself. A hard, transformative experience that teaches you more about your value than any praise ever could. Picture a precious vase left on a shelf every day, admired only because it's always there, until one day it's gone, and suddenly its absence fills the room with a silence so loud that everyone realizes its true worth. When you allow yourself to walk away from those who take you for granted, you don't just disappear, you make them confront the void that you leave behind. Imagine being a rare, blooming flower in a garden where some neglect to water or care for you. In time, the garden loses its luster, and those who once took your vibrant beauty for granted come to realize that the soil is barren without your grace. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about knowing that if someone truly valued you, they would have nurtured your growth rather than leaving you exposed to the harsh winds of indifference. You might ask, what if I feel guilty for leaving? Won't my absence hurt them too? The truth is, genuine appreciation should never come from coercion or guilt. True value shines when it's recognized naturally, not forced through desperate pleas or constant reminders. The absence of your energy is a powerful mirror that reflects back their neglect. As Epictetus wisely noted, no man is free who is not master of himself. In walking away, you claim the freedom that comes from self-respect, demonstrating that you are not defined by someone else's inability to see your worth. Think of it like this. If you were a piece of art displayed every day in a gallery, its beauty might fade into the background if it were taken for granted. But remove that art, and suddenly visitors start discussing what they've lost. The conversations become filled with regret and admiration for what once was. This is the quiet, potent power of absence. The silence you leave behind is louder than any argument or explanation you could muster. It forces those who once overlooked you to reckon with the reality of what they've lost, often too late to mend what's broken. Let me share a story. Olivia had given her all to a long-term relationship where every day felt like an endless routine of being taken for granted. She poured her time, love, and support into the relationship. Yet her partner never offered a word of thanks, assuming her presence was guaranteed. Slowly, the neglect began to speak volumes. Olivia reached a turning point where the constant undervaluation stung too deeply. Without a dramatic confrontation, she chose silence and walked away. Her departure wasn't a bitter act of revenge. It was a quiet reclaiming of her self-worth. In the weeks that followed, the echo of her absence grew louder. The partner who once assumed she'd always be there began to replay memories with regret, wondering if he could ever fill the gap left behind. It's a common question. What if they come back? While that possibility may linger in your mind, remember that your worth isn't measured by someone's eventual regret. It's measured by the strength you gain from choosing yourself over perpetual neglect. Walking away teaches you to preserve your energy for those who genuinely value your presence. When you remove yourself from a situation where you're seen as merely available, you empower others to see you as indispensable, a force not to be underestimated. In the end, regret is a bitter pill best swallowed by those who failed to appreciate what they had. Your silent exit does more than signal loss. It ignites a transformation in those left behind, forcing them to confront the truth. Some treasures are too rare to be taken for granted. 6. Gone for good. There comes a moment when silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Olivia reached that moment without yelling, begging, or threatening. She simply left. At first, her partner believed it was nothing more than a bluff, a dramatic pause in an otherwise predictable routine. But as days melted into weeks and weeks into months, the reality became undeniable. Olivia was truly gone. Her silent exit wasn't a rash impulse. It was a calculated reclaiming of self-respect. You might ask, what if her leaving was just a temporary reaction? Yet the truth is that when someone only realizes your worth after you vanish, they never truly cherished you in the first place. Imagine a lighthouse on a stormy night. For so long, its warm glow guided lost ships safely to shore, taken for granted as part of the familiar seascape. But once that light is extinguished, the darkness becomes a harsh reminder of what was once an invaluable guide. Olivia's departure was just like that extinguished light, a void that forced her partner to confront the profound loss of something irreplaceable. You may wonder, does silence really have the power to teach such a strong lesson? It does. In the quiet aftermath of her leaving, Olivia's absence spoke volumes. Her partner's apologies and expressions of regret came too late, like trying to mend a shattered vase after all the pieces had been swept away. In that silence lay a message as clear as day. If you only appreciate someone when they're no longer there, then you never truly valued them at all. Olivia's story is a testament to the strength found in walking away. Without a dramatic exit or a flurry of explanations, she allowed the natural consequences of her absence to unfold. The regret that later enveloped her partner was not a call for reconciliation, but a bitter lesson on the cost of neglect. As the ancient Stoics reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. By choosing silence over a desperate bid for validation, Olivia demonstrated that true power comes from within, and that self-respect is the ultimate guide. Consider a garden where one precious flower is watered day in and day out by someone who takes its beauty for granted. Over time, the flower might wither under such neglect, but once it is transplanted to a place where its value is truly recognized, it blooms vibrantly. Olivia was that flower. She refused to let her brilliance be dimmed by someone who only realized her worth when it was too late. So, how should you handle someone who regrets losing you? First, do not provide them with an easy way back. Their remorse, however heartfelt, only reveals that they never truly treasured your presence. Second, don't feel compelled to explain your absence. Explanations often become salt on a wound, reopening old scars. Instead, let your silence do the talking. Lastly, hold fast to your self-respect. The best lesson you can impart is that once you leave, you remain gone. Their regret is not your responsibility. Their lesson is their own burden to bear. In the end, your quiet departure is more potent than any desperate plea or elaborate explanation. It signifies the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where your worth is recognized by those who truly deserve it. Once you're gone, you're gone. And that truth is far more liberating than any temporary apology ever could be. Embracing silence empowers you to reclaim your strength and dignity. Every unspoken moment builds resilience and self-worth. Your journey of self-respect is invaluable. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share this video to spread the message of empowerment and mindful living. Stay inspired and join us.